What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I discovered a major issue with the regime detection, which was basically causing my strategy to fly blind since the last time I had deployed it. And it was a very subtle issue that was actually introduced by AI. So I've been making pretty heavy use of the AI coding in VS Code, the coding agents in there to help me make changes to the code. And it introduced a very, very subtle bug that I didn't catch immediately. Actually, not until I was looking at my dashboard, and thankfully I have a dashboard here that it gives me a quick glance to see what the strategies are up to. And I noticed that Vine was showing as it was in an uptrend, and it was in there for an extended period of time. And I was watching Vine over the course of the day, and it's like, there's no way this is an uptrend. So I got into the log files, and I was like, okay, something is definitely going on here. And basically, when I had made some changes using the AI agent in VS Code, it had not used the correct variable in some if statements that I had there when I was modifying the regime detection code. And this was a very, very difficult bug to catch. So I know everybody's raving about AI and software developers are going away and all this stuff, but it's just not going to happen anytime soon. At least right now, having AI is kind of like having a junior level developer that you're pair programming with. It's great for doing a lot of grunt work and making a lot of like changes that are good for like copy paste and stuff like that and hashing out initial kind of logic. But you really got to be super careful about the work that it's doing and taking a look to see if the logic that it is coding is what you're expecting it to be. So this is definitely a tough lesson that I learned. So basically, since the last time I deployed this last week, the regime detection has been off. I guess the good thing is it's been off for all the versions of the strategy. So I think we're still hopefully comparing apples to apples here between the 2.0 and 2.1 version. And then I also just completed the 2.2 version, which introduces some volatility regime as well. So not only trend, but also volatility. So looking to see if volatility is expanding, if it's contracting, if it's in normal range, and then taking appropriate action. So basically, I don't want to be adding to inventory if volatility is expanding, right? Because who knows where the market's going to go at that point. So basically, if volatility is expanding, then we want to kind of pare back the bids or asks that we're putting out there. And then so I got that going, but then I ran into another issue, which was my AWS instance ran out of memory because I'm running so many instances of these strategies now on it. Ideally, I wanted to run all three of these versions side by side by side with all of these coins, but I just don't have enough memory at the moment, and I haven't had a chance to like migrate over to a new instance. So what I did for now was I disabled Hype or Hyper, that's the Hyperliquid coin on the 2.0.0 version because it was clearly underperforming, way underperforming out of all the coins between these two strategies. I just turned that one off altogether, and I turned on Solana for the 2.2 version, and I'll start running this one, kind of see how it does, because what I'm seeing, it seems to be the most consistent out of all of these so far. And so I'll use that as a starting place for the 2.2 version with the new volatility regime detector in there. So we'll see how that goes. Continue running 2.0, and basically I'm keeping track of stats between the different versions, how they're doing just on a daily basis, but also by coin. And I'll have a summary of kind of all this stuff once I feel like I've got like a big enough sample size to have some sort of meaningful results here. And then I'm kind of also tracking stuff related to major coins, which would be like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, minor coins, which I kind of view as the Binance coin and Hyperliquid, where they're actually tokens that have some sort of actual value or utility to them, and then the shit coins, which are like Doge, Vine, with like these are just meme coins that really are worthless in the big scheme of things, and we'll kind of see how the strategy does in these three different categories. So anyway, we got the 2.2 version up and running now. The bugs are fixed with the regime detection in the previous versions. So I'm pretty excited to see kind of what the results end up being between all these three versions as we kind of go into the second half of the week here. So I'm kind of curious too, has anybody run into issues with AI and coding like this, where you had a bug that was subtly introduced by AI, and it was like a very painful fix, or very painful to find where the bug was, and the fix itself might have been easy, but maybe it was a very painful bug because it was just very subtle. I'd love to hear about your stories. Drop a comment below, or if you have a question or want to see something in more detail, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment, and I will see you guys later.